We're back, just like that. I was down at the shop. I was ready to do some work on the bug. Things happened. Now I'm back home. I brought some stuff. 18 gauge steel. Piece of wood. Some extra tools. And we're going in on the Zephyr here. We're gonna build those inner panels, the inner fender well panels. The challenge here is to create 10 louvers by hand without a louver machine. We tested out yesterday. If you haven't seen that video, check it out. If you don't want to check it out, watch this one, because we're gonna do the same thing. Nine more times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I just counted. The template's up there. 10 louvers total, almost no tools. 18 gauge steel. Here we go. All right, so my thought yesterday was we were going to take this wood and make a clamp, sort of a buck to support the sheet metal. So I brought the jigsaw, a couple blades, and then I got this steel here. So first let's start on cutting out 2 of these panels. I mentioned I wanted to use 18 gauge because these are just going to set into the fender wells with a few screws to locate them. And the idea is to just move a little more air out of the car. I wasn't really thinking about it while I was discussing this yesterday, but there are these vents here, which is a nice addition. You know, these are open, so air will come out of here. But you think about how much potential air can come in that front grille. I feel like venting these inner panels is going to help. What we need are some definite marks where we want these louvers to be. And then we want to set it up so we can hammer them without deforming the entire piece of steel. Sounds like a tall order. Showed you these magnets yesterday, but ideally this is what they're for. See? They will hold your template paper right where you need it. Cool. All right, so I mentioned the thing about lack of tools, right? So we are going to use a center punch, which is a screw. Make sure I got a claw hammer around here somewhere. All right, so we got the ends of where the louvers are gonna go. Let's hammer a little dot to transfer that. I got a little straight edge. Let's put these lines in. What we need to do now is to create 2 pieces of wood that are going to hold this steel in place. And it doesn't have to really grab here. We want it to grab up here. That's kind of a side profile of like a Harley tank, actually, like a Sportster tank. So let's just say we're going to have this down to there. We're going to make 2 of those in the long run. But what we want to do is transfer these to the wood so we know where to cut out. We're not making a perfect hammer form where we're going to form the steel onto the wood. We're just creating a border to hold us together so when we hammer, we can define this edge and let these shape. A little bit of a mouthful, but I think you'll follow. So let's cut this out. We're going to make another one. I hope this blade is long enough. Might not cut through. right, so now we need this. Let's just set this up on here because that's straight. Now I'm gonna screw these together. Well, not just yet. Let me cut this out first. Now here's where I was just thinking, I was questioning, I was debating. Yesterday when we free hammered that piece to create that louver, we barely used anything at all to shape it, right? But you can see you sort of get this kind of crescent shape. So what I was thinking is, do we want to cut that crescent shape out of the lower piece? Because that might offer it a little bit better, support. So what I'm getting at is, maybe we do use it as a bit of a hammer form. Doesn't have a defined stop to where the metal stretches to, but maybe it has that hard line to bounce off of. So we don't end up, I'm sorry, it would be on this side, my bad. Let me explain. I'm sure somebody's done this on YouTube. We should have watched that first. Instead, I'm going to try to learn myself. Right? So just to say, like, how big do we want that louver to open? I mean, look in here, that opened about that much. Almost halfway to that one. Maybe we'll just commit to that. Just under a yardstick, maybe? We'll put that on here. Maybe we want under that much. Let's make sure I'm correct here. We want the louvers facing the proper way. And this is actually the front. So this is going to be the slit, and that's going to be the raise. And this one potentially is going to be on that side if we push that down. We won't want to get dyslexic either. Make the same panel, right? We want these scoops to be facing into the engine so that the radiator air comes out of the panel. So that means on this passenger side, these are bumping this way. Let's check out the radius of this washer. Bigger. This larger washer is the radius. Yeah, so let's just do that. Go from there to there. To there. To there. Might seem confusing right now. That's because it is. Again, it might not work. I don't know. If I wasn't filming this, I'd still be doing this. So, hey, welcome aboard. Cool. So what I'm thinking is we're going to cut open these, and then we're going to screw down. Yeah, we're going to cut these open. We're going to screw these panels together, and we are going to sandwich that plate in there with the screws and then hammer it this way. Whew, it's getting technical. So watch this. How do we know where to cut that out? We're just going to mark it like this because I don't have a thin enough marker to go through those screw holes. I'm going to say about there. So I could see those marks that I made. And we're going to come in like this. Okay. Here we go. So we're going to do that. that. See, if I could clamp this from the outside, it would be so much simpler, but I don't really have enough clamps here. See, I was thinking I was just going to screw these together. And I guess I could probably just get away with holding it. If I have to, I'll drill a hole through the steel and just repair it, I will. Not optimal, but that's where we're at with all my clamps in the other shop. Alright, is that starting to make any sense? Doesn't make any sense to me either. Okay, so we want this much room. I want this to come in here like this, hitting on all those ends, so it's close. Alright, send that. Yeah, just like that. Then this is going to sit here like that. We're going to hammer them through. Yeah, so my big thought was, you know, how do we hold these together? And I think I'm going to drill through a few places and screw it together and just weld that shut. It's going to be finishing. If I had my clamps, I'd just be able to clamp it. So let's cut these slits. And I'm going to give this a dress. It's a little sharp. All right. We got this. This. I'm going to transfer these slices directly to this. We have the same on both pieces. I do have one clamp. Let's make that one happen. Let's just mirror these. Now we got these, even cuts, mirror image, sanded smooth. Now let's remember, mirror images. We want these louvers facing each other, not both the same thing. So, here we are. We're going to hammer through this window. Can I see to hammer? Sure can. See them all. I like it. All right, let's put that here. And now this one is going to line up with the slits. Like that. All right, so this is what I was saying. I think we're going to just screw this together. Yeah, let's do this. Get a small drill bit. Not the optimal way because I'm going to have to repair. But I want to put this through the steel. Seems like a lot of work for a little louver, doesn't it? All right. So here we are. The moment of truth. This is sitting here in the fender well, am I correct? I want them pushing down like this. Let's cut these screw heads off. All right. just like that. Let's start with this one, see what we could do. All right, I brought 2 hammers, both with a somewhat rounded head. I'm gonna dress this one up a little bit with the disc. We do have a dolly that we're gonna finish this all off with. But the nicer it is at the start, the simpler it is at the finish. I've mentioned this before, that if your hammerhead is botched up, it's gonna put that mark into the steel you're hammering. That's why when you see these videos of the pro metal forming guys with their planishing hammers and other stuff, it's all polished finish. If you know me, ain't gonna happen in this shop. All right, so let's work this. Yeah. Cool. And this one. That's hitting the wood. Yeah, that one little edge right there was touching. There it is. So do you see why I left the wood here? It's a backer to keep it straight. Seeing what's happening, you could probably just put some pressure on this to keep it in line. That'll probably help it. So the question is, how high up do we want these louvers to raise? And do we have something we can just push straight down with? Yeah, I feel like maybe hitting this in the corners. Let me try this. I don't want to beat that hammer up too much. Oh yeah, way better. Yep. Yeah, that totally did it. Your guess is as good as mine. It's a pretty significant movement on that louver. Let's take it apart and see what happened. I have this chisel here. It's going to give these edges a little work. What do you think? What do you think?
About what?
About these?
Ooh, oh, you're doing the louver today? That's cool. That's really neat.
It worked.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sweet.
I'm excited to share this tomorrow.
Yeah. All right, cool.
That looks really good. Holy smokes.
Surprise.
Good job, babe.
It worked. It's gonna need some hand finishing, but that's a keeper. Okay, now let's not mess this up. We were hammering it in to this side. So now we're going to hammer it into this side. So we're going to take this, align these slits up here, like that. We're gonna put this on here, like that. Come on, let's not mess this up. Right, because we're hammering down and we're hammered up. That's gonna go on here like this. So now we're hammering this way. Make sure none of that wood, you know, you live and learn. That wood was a little bit in the way. All right, let's do the same thing. Hammer down. Yeah, seeing how this works out. You can see how a louver press wouldn't give you any of these hammer marks. But it also wouldn't afford you different size louvers. It's pretty substantial. Looks like the other side is opened a little bit deeper. Little chisel action in the corners. Just to define them a bit. Equal opposites. All right. Let's get a dolly and dress these up a little bit. So if you know me, you know I'm the guy that can't wait. I'm the guy that touches wet paint. Yeah. Once that's screwed in place, that will look clean. Letting the airs out. I don't remember what the original Zephyr louvers looked like, but they're something very similar to this. I think they're a lot finer. Oops. That's backwards. Yeah, totally cool. Just like that. Whew. They say sometimes a little daring and a lot of luck will get you where you weren't before. I gotta say, we got some inner fender wells. What a relief. 2 hours of fury. See you next time.